1906, my mother, Alice Flanagan, was born at the height of the British Empire. Her early life was spent in a small farmhouse near Dublin, Ireland. Abject poverty and religious discrimination stalked her early years. There was never quite enough to feed the family that included her, the youngest of 7 children. The only warm room in the house was found around the cooking fireplace in the kitchen. Clothing was held on to like grim death. Replacements were unlikely and threadbare hand-me-downs were the order of the day. Mother's education was limited to a nominal amount of time in the classroom. Teach the papists enough to be able to make change and read the road signs was the prevailing mantra of the British aristocracy toward the Irish peasants. At the age of 8 or 9, Alice's formal education ceased. Now able to read and write, make change, and tell time, Alice was now assigned to full-time chores on the farm and pitched in to do her share along with her siblings. As she came of age, Alice watched her older brothers and other young men turn to drinking and living an idle lifestyle. She was determined to avoid such a fate for herself and vowed to immigrate to America. She learned early on that just wanting something didn't guarantee that it would happen. Although severely limited by a lack of education, she made it her business, as she put it, to go up to Dublin and earn the passage money to America. She signed on as a domestic servant and saved up every shilling of her wages until the price of a one-way ticket could be purchased. When Alice arrived in New York Harbor, she stood on the deck, gaping at the Statue of Liberty. The few photos she once saw did not compare to actually sailing past the most famous edifice in the world. However, Alice did not come to America to be a tourist. In those early days, early 1920s, immigrants were required to have both a sponsor and a job. Upon meeting up with her sponsor, her Aunt Christina, at the dock, arrangements were made to take a position as a domestic servant inside the home of a wealthy manufacturer. The residence was a multi-story brown house in Manhattan. The place was abuzz with servants, maids, butlers, and cooks. Every room on each floor had a fireplace, except, of course, for the servants' rooms. The staff worked 7 days a week, and Alice was given every other Thursday afternoon off. Compared to Ireland, though, she found something close to heaven on earth, but she still wanted a little better for herself. An improvement in her status and pay meant becoming a cook and having people working for you. A cook was a position of privilege and respect. Cook regularly consulted with Madam regarding menus and delicacies. After a period of time, Alice was offered the opportunity to try out for the position of assistant cook, which was a stepping stone to eventually becoming a full-fledged cook. Like most rookies in all walks of life, the older hands gave her little help. Concepts like mentoring and coaching were not practiced in that household. "Here you are, my girl," said the head cook as she handed Alice a dirty black, rock-hard, round, baseball-sized thing covered with hair. "Madam," Cook continued, "would like to have a coconut custard pie for dessert this evening. Use this to make the pie and have it ready to serve by 8 o'clock, she ordered." Now, the closest thing my mother could remotely connect to this monstrosity was a turnip, and no turnip she ever saw had hair growing out of it. The Irish peasant girl had neither seen nor heard of a coconut. Nevertheless, she knew that this was a test that she had to pass with flying colors, or the prospect of remaining a floor scrubber and bed changer would be her lot in life. Therefore, Alice set out with serious determination to find out everything she could about coconuts and what role they played in the final preparation of a pie. Her first task was to find out how to break into the hairy thing and properly use the substances found inside. With the help of a strong young butler, the coconut yielded to pressure and a sharp knife, giving up its tasty liquid and coconut shavings. These things were added to her list of items to be used to make the pie. Alice was now on a mission. She asked questions and received many answers, some good and some not so well. Unsatisfied, she came back with more questions until she knew instinctively that she had the right instructions, and off she went to create a coconut custard pie. That evening, I am told, Madame said word, tell Alice that was the best coconut custard pie I've ever tasted in my life. The coconut story has remained with me all my life. Whenever I'm facing a tough challenge or a decision, I think back to the little Irish girl who had to overcome many significant challenges to achieve her goal. Epilogue: Alice became the cook and married the strong butler.